What can be better than Cyberpunk, sword welding a SpongeBob SquarePants, are only much bigger SpongeBob SquarePants. To create our 3D model from image, I'm going to use Hitem3d. This is my personally preferred service because I think they produce one of the better 3D models. And I'm not just speaking on the amount of polygons and details, because that is stunning by itself. It is how accurate it will produce from image to the model itself without changing the features of the model. We're going to upload our model in Windows. It's just a one image. Doesn't matter what you're using, Midjourney, Gemini, or ChatGPT. I would highly recommend for you to specify that it is on a white background. It's make much easier to extract. The next, I want to convert this to the multi-image, backside, so we can preview. For this, we'll just go over our image and click right here where it says multi-view. This will initiate a special algorithm to take our image and creating all sides for this. And look on this, is actually generate some spine even. And if you don't like it, you can change, you can download it and modify it. When we're done, let's go ahead, click done. The other options I would recommend for you to use, it's this one. It says enhance image. It just make a little bit better with details. You have low resolution. And other ones, remove background. We definitely want to remove background from our image. We have the latest 2.1, which is performed very good, very fast model and very high details. You have a choice between quality or fast generation. For the example, I will use it quality, but fast one work as fine. It just will have a little bit less details. Next, we want to have it like geometry or geometry in texture. Let's keep it with the texture as well. And license, you want to share with other people or have it private. For that, I'll just keep it private for now. And I want to enable advanced settings. In advanced settings, we have options, symmetry or fidelity. And one is that if you select on symmetry, what is now, it will prioritize the front image. If you do fidelity, it will try to calculate and have it equal per each side. It depends how you can create it. In my case, front of the face is most important, so I will keep it on a symmetry. The face output, we can pop up quite a bit high. In our case, because we're going to use it a resin printer and create this kind of SpongeBob's, we want to have it a higher polygon. Next, let's go click on generate. After a little wait, you can see you generating your model, and it's look unbelievably good. It's exactly like an image. Look on this, even fingers, we have 3 fingers. Everything is look perfect. Sometimes you can run with limitations. What happened with me? I want to create a much bigger model. But the problem with my resin printer, the plate is too small. I'm kind of locked to just only one small size when I create figurines. The better approach, if I can split this on a multiple parts and assemble afterwards. And that's actually what we're going to do here. So in this, if we like and everything, we can go to options called split to print. Inside the options, selections for the templates. For example, just keep it head and body, and you can kind of preview. For our test, I'm going just to use it all. I select 6 parts in this case, and we'll go ahead and click generate. SpongeBob created, and you can see we kind of create explode, put it together, so it's a split. And this is not bad if you already want to create. For me personally, I want to adjust something. For example, I think, see like right here, this is look a little bit strange. So I want to create my own support. And if you really want kind of adjust your stuff, I recommend for you just to go to advanced connector settings. This will bring you to a special studio. This part is extremely powerful. If you work ever with 3D models, you can find a lot of cool stuff you can do here to the model. If you don't, no worries, because it is simple things, and I will show you specifically what I'm going to do. So we'll go click on expand. And if you notice, we don't have it any support right here. On our right side, we have it connectors. So we can go click and locate. It will showing for us where's this connector. Next, for this connector, I want to click add connector. And we can see it's add all connectors or we add separate. As well, you see how they're located. Different type of connectors. The round I'm using sometimes when I want to move the joint done before, or you can have it pin like this. If you want, just put it in and glue. And I think the pin is what I'm going to use. Let me go back. We'll select just this. And we also can click and says add connector if you want to go just alone. Let's go try this. We'll go click on one. This is just one. We're going to door. It's where lock. We're going with round. The square one, it's kind of sit and you can rotate, and it's good if you want one pose. But I was thinking maybe hands was a little bit too low. I want to readjust, so I will go with a little bit around here. And you can also adjust what scale of this you want it. And I will probably just go like this about scale. The assembly fit, and as well, this is assembly fit. Let's go tighter or looser. It's a hole and pin, how they're different. Let's go with a little bit closer to looser. And the depth, you can see it's how deep it's going inside. So I think I will go like around there. When you're done, you'll just click generate connections, and it will take a little bit time to create this connection. Next connections, what I want to actually focus right now, it's this on the bottom where is the body going inside. And we'll just can click on 5. It's right here, connections. Let's go to click add connector. And sometimes you can see how big it is. It's definitely not what we wanted. I want to create pin. Okay, I want to reduce little bit scale, maybe around there, depth. And this is about depth in some things I like to balance. Because when we create all this big model and it's become quite a bit large, kind of create like this. What I've done, you can see the hole on the bottom. It's also helped to drain if you put hole inside. So it's actually very useful for us to do this. And that's what right here, it's created kind of pinhole. And let me show you again. See, like right there, this is what created there. Okay, and just kind of go like this. Okay, we assign, and I do like this size. I think this is look very good. We could even make a little bit smaller, maybe around this size. And let's go generate connector for this one as well. When it generate connector, it's also generating the input and output. So it's a generate 2 of those holes and hook up itself. So it's kind of nice about this. You can do automatic generate everything. Personally, I do like adjustment because I like be sure they're all set right. After everything is done, you can just click and export this or save it. So I usually export as STL. You cannot just export single one element, which is kind of would be nice if you can, but you can export whole model. So our next step, I will show you if you want to split them, that we're going to use it inside the Blender to save separate each elements. Okay, let's go click on export. And we want to export, if we're going to the printer, you want to be STL. But because we're going with output to Blender, we'll go with OBJ object, and we'll just export this one. Blender is free application. I will also provide link for you down below. It could be intimidated when you look. It's look a lot, but no worries, because all what you need to go to do is a very simple steps. So when you launch first time, you'll see like this with this cube. Let's go just click delete and remove this cube. After we export it, and by the way, when we export it, we want to be sure we export as exploded model. So everything is separated like this. Then we want to take this model, just simply drag and drop on the middle of the screen, and you just leave it everything as default and just select import OBJ file. This is our SpongeBob. So let's go ahead. We'll look like this front. We don't really need to worry too much about positioning or anything, because what we're going to do, it is save each of this part. The easiest way to do is just going and hide here. For example, we'll just leave it head, and we'll just hide all of other elements. So you don't need to worry about separations or anything. And after this, you just kind of go File, Export. And in the export, we want to export as STL. This is for our printing
format. So this is all what we need to do. And after you export head, you can also hide, enable another like right arm, and same things, file, export, and you can select also STL. So just every small element. So we won't go in a very fancy way to do it. Just do the simple way. Open one part, export, open another, export. Start your application where you're going to slicing. If you've done before 3D printing, you are very familiar. If you've done this for the first time, well, I would recommend experiment first, maybe on the demos, but generally it will be same applications. And what we need to do is just put those elements and position them. Usually, if I want to create a maximum, the biggest scale I can, I will take the biggest element. It's not necessarily the largest, like a head or other things. It could be a hand, arm, if holding sword, because it's like a longer in distance. So, but in our case, let's go ahead, drag and drop some elements. Okay, let's go click right here. Okay, and as we put it, you can see we have, if we just leave it by default, this is look like a big, but in reality, this is size what is loaded by the it's smaller than this. It is look sometimes too big on a screen, but when you start printing it will be teeny tiny. So I want to increase this size. We can move it, but I would recommend for you loaded other parts and see how they will compare to the size. So in our case, let's go to loaded, maybe another one, and we uploaded elements. So right here, if you can see, I uploaded all different hand, leg. I don't necessarily at this time want to see it. I just want to be sure they all fit on the plates, because I'm going to print them a little bit separate, but I want to have it a maximum size. Well, with the printer, at least what I'm using, this is the not filament. This is with the liquid type of the printer with a resin, with printing. You kind of pour liquid and you have it plates with laser go up. I can kind of create plate, but it's much more in a height. So I'm okay if model will be going higher because I have to play in your room. What I'm mostly worried here is this width of my plate. And from what I see, I think this leg have the biggest kind of challenge for me. So I can put it in. Let's go create a scale. And in a scale, you can look what you want to increase by size. This one become important because you want to be sure your all elements, they scale up by same size. So you don't want to scale differently. And I don't necessarily like scale by size in this case. We're going by percentage. For example, we can go 300, and you can say 300 a little bit too much. Okay, let's go maybe 250. Well, let's go just example. We're going with 250. You'll notice 250%. Okay, let's go click apply on this, and we'll just switch to the move and reposition. This is one of elements, and we can create another leg like this and another. You can place them as well mixed together. So in example, we can go rotate, and I'm just looking on this how to rotate. Maybe rotate, look how much you want, which position you want to rotate. I'll probably just rotate like this. And the same things, remember, if we're going with scale, we want to be sure it's a 250, so they're all exactly same. This is not a large size because, of course, we can take this leg. If you want it, we can take a rotation, and we can just rotate this way, and make even bigger. So you can play around and create and rescale sizes. That is kind of important for us. And when you're done with doing all of this scale, rotation, when you satisfy, after all components is printed, you're ready now to going and work. But here's one small tip for you. If you print large models like this, well, let me delete it. I'll show you what next, what I highly recommend for you to do. Okay, let me go delete this one. Say right there, I have the SpongeBob. Let's go to scale, and we'll just scale to 250 like this. Let's go click apply. So example, well, I can print bigger, but there's a head. If we start printing on a resin printer, it's work a little bit even different from filament because it could fill up everything inside with the resin, and it becomes super heavy, hard, and it's hard to cure. So what I personally do, I make holes inside so let the liquid from inside escape. This is will actually print like this. It will print upside down. So for us, this plate, it will go down and it's go like this up. So they start printing from the bottom. And because it does this and it will be inverse, it's meaning these holes will print the last. It's meaning we need to make a holes inside to make it kind of going through. Notice right there, we have it hollow, holes repair. So let's go on a hollow and we'll just first create hollow out of our model. So it does not make solid, it just make stuff inside. And this actually is work very well because you can see how it's printing. So it still have its structure, but it's not all fillet. Next, let's make a hole. So we'll click on a hole right there. And all you need to do is just set properly how long link you want it. And then SpongeBob for me was easy because he already had kind of like those holes. And then just go click here. The most important is just look so it's not too deep and you kind of like hard, because right here you can see I have a little bit come through, which is okay. I will just leave it as default because I already was thinking to make holes like, on the sides. You don't need to make too many holes, but I especially not yet seal them because you can see on this SpongeBob, I don't know, right there, if you can see, I still have those drain holes inside this model. And usually what I do, I fill them up with like epoxy or other things so they don't have it, but for the showing how it does. Next, let's go click confirm. And you can see we have it at those holes. So you kind of almost can look inside and see the grease. So it's meaning as it's printing, the liquid which is trapped inside will start dripping off and we can create. So this is a big models. And after when you're done here, of course, you want to create support for this model and support whatever you prefer. You can create if you have your own. Usually I do automatically assign. And also sometimes this model, I like to print face up. So it's have less those connectors that can destroy it. But I think with SpongeBob, it just work fine in this case. Okay, let's go back. And obviously we need it now slice it. So it's actually take this model and it will go up and print our model. When you're done, you can go ahead and kind of print. And I don't know, I not yet glued top one and I kind of like it. I like how he moving. But compare this one to this size. They're both kind of fun, but I like a larger size. I like, see if SpongeBob Cyberpunk, he must be a large. So this is nice. And this is not the biggest I can print on this printer. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know if you've done anything like this before. And if you have any additional tips for me, please share, let me know. Thank you for watching these videos and we'll see you next time. Bye.